What's up, y'all? We're back at it once again with another episode. I got to do a better job of keeping up with episodes. But we have, as always, the illustrious guest, Stef Darts, the one, the only. It's a good friend from middle school, high school. And over the course of these 8-9 years, I've watched him grow to something beautiful and something helpful that's impactful in our society. So as always, we got somebody on to talk about things they're doing and how they're incorporating it in their purpose-driven life. So Stef, say hello to everybody.
Thanks for having me on, D. Stefan Darts.
Yes, always.
To be on here with the man himself.
Oh man, no, it's you, man. For some of y'all that don't know, I had to catch Stef over the phone. He was here in Houston, but I got caught up. My schedule got busy. His schedule got busy, so we didn't have a real sit down. But he was willing to do it over the phone. So I took that opportunity, and I'm just glad to share how this man takes the challenges of life and living in his purpose and how he's incorporated it. It's a big monumental thing, so I'm excited to share with you guys. But we can start off the conversation. Tell us who you are, what you do, what you're doing, anything exciting in your life at this moment.
Can you repeat that one more time, please? Breaking up.
Yeah, I said you can tell everybody who you are and what you're doing and anything exciting that you got going on right now in your life.
Oh, yeah. Okay, for sure. My name's Stefan Darts, by the way. Grew up in Houston, Texas, north side, to be exact. And from a very young age, God put me in certain situations. And like most people, you don't understand as you're a kid, but you tell me just this way, and just have patience, and everything will be understanding later. And my grandparents, they raised me, and I'm most definitely grateful for that. And they helped me become the man I am today because they showed me what makes me happy without being compromised to like the ways of the world and the people in it and the things in it. And I found my purpose, which is giving, whether it's mentally, spiritually, or emotionally. And that's how I founded my nonprofit organization, Caring Heart Youth. And I'm on my second nonprofit now, which is Hope of Black Water Wells, which means we're building wells around the world. Look, the next one in Africa, Nigeria, that is. And I tell people, you can do anything on God level vision, instead of a man-made vision.
Yeah.
The difference between that is walking in faith blindly, waiting for God level vision, versus a man-made vision, which means you're comfortable, you're fine where you're at, you know what's going to happen tomorrow. You got a good prediction of what's happening. Yeah. And I don't know, over those years, he helped me develop a God level vision. Just truly walking on faith, and that's where I rather operate, being uncomfortable. Because in today's time, many people want to be comfortable, whether it's a man or a woman, they just want to be comfortable and know what they're expecting. When you walk into a God vision,
you never know.
Day, exactly, you never know what tomorrow may hold, and you can't take that for granted either. So a lot of people live day to day. I don't live day to day. I live breath by breath.
Yeah.
Because I don't have day to day anymore. I can have that next breath, and that's all that I can
operate.
That's all I can.
Yeah, that's
profound.
That's
all I can count on.
Yeah, that's profound, man. That's profound. You said living in a God vision versus a man-made vision, and I feel like that is the dilemma, and we've talked about that before. That's the dilemma with everybody. being in control and not really being in control. That's the war we have. It's because we convince ourselves that we can make any and everything happen. You know what I mean? And God is trying to teach us that He makes any and everything happens, but our reliance should be on Him. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So
that makes perfect sense.
So yeah,
and that's what I would advise for people to live, because your level of thinking, like when you when you move your mind from a man-made level of thinking, from what you're being taught, from the environment, from your parents, from your cousins, from your family, and you move it to a God level of vision, you know, it's going to blow your mind because you could do so much more because you're expecting God to move now. Yeah. And that's what He wants. He wants you to want Him. But, you know, some people, they have to change their mindset. And that's, many great leaders and great people have told millions of people that if you change your mindset, you can impact the world. And it's true. Yeah. It's true because when God told me that my grandparents' house was already paid for, I knew that it was already written. Like many people, they need some type of validation or to believe. That ain't the way faith works with me. Faith works when He tells me something. I know it's already done. I just have to put my pedal to the metal and put my feet to the ground and get to work. Because I know it's already done. If He tells me that in my spirit, I know it's already done. Not a day. I haven't met no one personally, and I'm willing to meet someone if it's the case where their spirit has lied to them. No one that I have ever met, spirit has ever lied to them. Yeah. If that girl thought this dude was cheating, and that's what her spirit told her, 10 times out of 10 that was right. Yeah. But too many times we let our mind battle with our spirit and talk us out of things. Yeah. So we have to learn how to separate the two. The mind from the spirit, because your spirit has never lied to you. It's just your mind that went back and forth with it. Yeah. But you have to be mentally sound in order to understand the two from each other. And that's why I'm kind of glad that I grew up. I had a lot of friends that did drugs. Had sex all the time, did weed, which I'm not demeaning for in any type of way. But He cleared my mind. He cleared my mind with some things. I didn't have those things tainted me. So I didn't have that urge that many people wake up, I gotta smoke that, I gotta do that to have fun, I gotta get something that. Yeah. I didn't have that mind. So my soul was focused on Him, and He was able to give me
Yeah. And I'm sorry I'm cutting you off. I'm trying to do a better job and not interjecting when people are talking, but I don't want to forget my thought. You said you're operating in a sense for faith. For you is believing what He said, regardless of what physically is present. And if you understand the text when it says it in the Bible in Hebrews, faith is the substance of things we hope for, the evidence of things not seen. That is simply that, because by faith, if you continue reading that chapter, it says, by faith, God spoke the world into existence. By faith, He told Abraham he would be the father of many nations. By faith, He told Moses He would lead the children of Israel across the Red Sea. It's by His word, what He's saying. And then it trickles into how you said, when people say you change your mindset, then anything is possible. That is factual and true. Once you change your perception, then your reality changes. We hear the saying all the time, your perception controls your reality, or ultimately becomes your reality. And that is truth. Once you change how you look at things, then your response will be it'll be the world of difference. So that's good, man, that you're saying these things, because it's confirmation of me. And I'm praying that it helps somebody else understand that having faith will always be uncomfortable. But being uncomfortable knows that you're operating in the sense that God can move you and push you and help you be in your purpose that He's willed for your life, and you'll be able to change the world. So yeah, that's pretty good. Are you still with me, brother?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. All right. So let's dive right into this discussion. We're talking about discipline when facing adversity. Now, the last episode, I spoke with a brother about what discipline was and the things you needed to discipline yourself. But to continue that conversation, I thought it was just to discuss with you discipline and how important it is when you're facing adversity, because when you're living your purpose, if you don't have adversity, you're not in your purpose. If it just comes easy, if it comes without no sweat, no endurance, no stamina, no heartache, then it's not your purpose. And I can say that with all assurity, unless somebody else tells me otherwise. They've lived their purpose without breaking a sweat. It comes with a lot of times where you're faced with, are you really supposed to be doing this? Or is there something else you're supposed to be doing? That question, I find out, I've come to realize that that's the question that's always asked in some form of fashion. Especially now, the way I'm walking. Am I supposed to be doing this? Is this something I'm supposed to be doing? Or am I supposed to be doing something else? So over the time, I've had to really gird up my loins in a sense and tie in all the loose ends and really be sure that this is the way God is telling me to go. And in that, I'm starting to see the fruition of it. But it comes with a lot of adversity. So I wanted to discuss that because I feel like that's another helpful key point and, just essential nugget that somebody can take and to continue driving themselves in the route or staying in their purpose, staying on their purpose. So the first question I had for you is, what does purpose mean to you?
Purpose is something much more, bigger than you. Mm-hmm. Simply put, because sometimes, too many times, we look at that person in the mirror and we're in our own way. Sometimes we're too selfish to go through things for other people.
Yeah.
Because we think that it's all about us. We think that it's all about us when we look in that mirror, and that we're only affecting us. Mm-hmm. But God told me, like, you got so many lives in your head, and I carry that because that's a lot of weight. When He want me to impact the world, that's a lot. Like, when He says that to you, I just can't take that with a grain of salt. So what I mean by when I say that is, there's three things. Three things that that was pivotal in my life when it came to adversity. The first was not being raised by parents, and this is young. So this is when He started to shape me, and around this age, this is more perception at this point. Yeah. So when I say that, I'm saying many people have resentment towards their parents or not being raised by their parents, and hate travels so fast, and you can see how just by with the president we have today, hate travels so fast. But God was telling me, don't get compromised to the ways of the world. I want you to keep your heart as how I created it to be. No matter if someone do you wrong or do you no matter what it is, your heart stays the same. And so as I got older, I was mad when I was young, and because my parents was never there. While many kids is making Father's Day cards or Mother's Day cards, I never made one. Because my parents was never there. And that right there trains the mind, or the devil can train you to have resentment towards those people. But God told me, like, hey, yes, sir.
No, you're right. I'm agreeing with you. He can use that device to steer your narrative and how you perceive things and what could ultimately become your reality. So you're right. Continue. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. And so that's when God told me, like, no, just lay back. You will understand it because it's for a bigger reason than you. And then I started to look at the situations I was in. I was going from house to house to house, and I was looking at my friends from Haverstock, which is not a great place at all.
Oh yeah, Haverstock.
And I'm looking like, man, like this is crazy because these same kids are going through the same thing. And he's like, you're gonna come back and you're gonna change this. You're gonna be the one. And I said, okay. And as I got older, the second thing was almost losing my leg. Mm-hmm. Many people, none of my friends came, and that's it's cool. I'm fine with that because at the end of the day, I'm not perfect, so I don't expect nobody to be. But most people within that moment would have had resentment as well. So the devil tries to attack you during your adversity, but it's how you respond. Yeah. I responded the first time positively. I was like, okay, God, what are you trying to show me? What are you trying to teach me? And that's what patience is understanding what he's trying to show you or teach you within that season so he can elevate you. But too many times we're compromised to a microwave, we got to have it now type of thing, and that's not patience. Many people think patience is waiting. I don't know what, it doesn't logically make sense to me, but that's what society has compromised people to make everyone think. But when God is teaching you, he's going to show you a different wave pattern, not to think like the norm, not to react like the norm. Yeah. And so when I was in that hospital and I almost lost my leg, and I was getting my blood checked every hour on the hour for that month straight, and I was sitting in that hospital for 3 months total. He told me, you're going to use the situation. And I was like, okay, God, keep showing me what you've shown me. And I realized what the true purpose of family meant, what the true purpose of friendship meant. And when I hit world news, it all made sense because at that point, everyone's flying your flag. Everyone knows you. Everyone, that's my partner, that's my friend. He told me just to stay focused on him because all that's going to come by what I've told you already. So it didn't, it was nothing new to me. I knew it was expected because he told me and it was already written. Whatever he puts in my spirit, I already know it's already written because it's not about me. It's about impacting the world and inspiring the world. Yeah. And did you want to intervene?
Yeah, I wanted to go back on the story of your leg because I know the story you told me, but our listeners might not know. So if you wanted to, I guess talk about the situation and what happened on how you lost your leg and how that was your second plight for dealing with adversity so quick at a young age and how that steered you more into your purpose. If you wanted to talk about that.
Okay. I didn't lose my leg. I almost lost my leg.
Almost. Yeah. My bad.
But no. So I then learned around that time, I was making some money in high school. I could sell anything I can get my hands on. I come to school with a bag full of groceries, full of candy, full of food, full of Gatorade, sell it to the football team, sell it to anybody. And I should leave literally with a trash bag full of stuff. And I should leave by that afternoon, everything was gone. So around me, I had a lot of friends that were just around me just because I had money. And I could sell a bottle of Coke straight to a Coke factory. So when that happened, I was like, God, let something happen to me so I know who my real friends who my real friends are. And when that happened, I went to play football. We had a game that week, and I had caught an interception, and I got cocky, and I was like, man, I'm about to run this back, in which I almost did, but then I walked the last 10 yards, and when someone pulls you back, you know how when you're running from someone, and they grab you by the back collar of your shirt, and you're trying to lift up your legs to run far faster. That's the type of situation it was, and he was beneath me, and when I lifted up my leg, his helmet was right underneath, and my foot went inside his helmet, and it popped in and popped out, and I had a compound fracture, dislocated ankle, and I had to get reconstruction on my right leg, which is 12 screws and 2 rods.
Yeah.
And that right there, it taught me everything I knew. Now, it taught me everything that I needed, because I needed that adversity. I needed that because that has sustained me towards where I'm at right now. And many people, they don't look at adversity that way. I look at it as I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for all the adversity, and I embrace it, because many people, they only want to embrace the good times. They don't want to embrace whatever's on their resume that's polished. You got to embrace yourself, and as far as what's bad about you too, in order to work on yourself. But not everyone want to have that real life self-evaluation and be like, you know what,
right.
I messed up at this, or I effed up at this. Yeah. Everyone just wants to sugarcoat it and, only look at the good things about their resume. And it ain't about that, because you missing out on so much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding by doing that, because you're only looking at the good side of things.
Yeah, but the adversity teaches you to appreciate the accolades even more. Not in the sense that you did it all by yourself, you're the man, this, that, and the other, but more of, I got through that, and this is what it birthed. This amazing accomplishment because of that brief moment of a challenge, that challenge to test what was really in me. And I overcame that, good or bad. Whether, it was a win or a loss, it's still something I overcame that birthed something else in me. And I talk about it all the time, man. It's if you think of a gardener or a planter or a farmer, real farmers appreciate the process more than the results. Of course, the results is excellent because you have fruit and vegetables and all these other things, but the day ends, getting up, going out and dealing with all the challenges that comes with that realm or space of farming, they appreciate that more. Because like with me, I'm just got in the gym, but I appreciate going in the gym every day, battling with the emotions of not really wanting to work out, but fighting through that one rep, one set at a time. And then on the back end, that's teaching me to the same way in life. These are the thoughts I'm telling in my head. The same way you get up and fight to finish that rep or finish that set, you can do this when it comes to being an adult, when it comes to dealing with issues that you want to just do away with. You deal with it with one step at a time, one breath at a time. So adversity, disciplining yourself or creating discipline in adversity is important. But we're coming up to our first portion, our break. We're going to take a little break here. Appreciate you guys for listening. And then give us a few moments to be back for our second portion. All right, one love. What's up, y'all? We're back at it again, part 2. Part 1 was good. It was getting real nice. I got my brother Stef Darts here on the phone. We're going to finish talking up about discipline when facing adversity. Now, Stef, you did mention the first 2 things that taught you real early that adversity is going to come because you're in your purpose. And that was staying with not having your parents at a young age and almost losing your leg. Was there another thing that you hold on that reminds you that adversity will come? Or was those the only 2 things?
Those were the 2 main gems.
Okay.
The third one, man, mine kind of went blank there. Sorry about that. I'm trying to recoup on the third one. But once it comes back to me, we can bounce. I'll let you know. We can bounce back into it. Sorry about that.
Okay, so you already told us what purpose means to you, and when you started developing the habit of discipline, especially when it pertains to diversity. But my third question was this: is what are the things that keeps you from not straying when the challenge comes? Because we know the challenge is that in itself. It challenges if it's really in you and if it's not. And the times when it's not in you, what is it that you do, or what are the things that are around you that keep you to go back and try again and not just quit because it's hard?
Number one, it's not a, what do they call those things? It's not a New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
So it's not for a season. And when I say it's not for a season, like this every day, knowing that I got people counting on me that I don't even know, depending on me to do what God told me to do. Mm-hmm. And so it's like I don't really sleep that much because of that. Because He gave me that great gift, and with some people would see it as a burden. It's not a burden to me, and that's what fuels me. That's what keeps me motivated. That I get the chance, I'm getting to change the world the way that God wants me to do it. And not everybody gets that every day. So it's like, not everybody operates in that purpose every day. So I'm most certainly grateful, and I don't want to take it for granted because I'm going to do as such as He's told me to be, because it's already done in my eyes. All I have to do is continue to put my foot to the pedal. But one thing about it is, most people, when God tells them to do something, like I said, they want to see it first. Yeah. And when, if He tells me something in my spirit, it's already written. Yeah. It's already done.
Yeah, you got to that point where you already know it's done, and you don't have to physically see it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And that's what many people be like, you don't get stressed out, you don't get headaches. Yeah. I don't know what, I truly don't know what stress is. I don't know what, I haven't felt a headache since I was like 8 or 9 when I had braids.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you what those things are.
Because you've gotten to that point where you understand that you're not in control of the physical space and time. You're just in control of how you respond to it. And that's profound, because a lot of people don't get there. They get there later on in life when they have to understand that they're not in control, because physically they can't make things shake and make things happen like they want to because of their older age. So the fact that you're already working and striving to operate in this mindset and space is profound, because for me, that's something I'm learning. It was many a times I was told to do things divinely by God through my mother. And I wrestled with that, man, because I was like, man, this ain't what I planned to do. This ain't what I was supposed to be doing. I wanted to go do this. Now I got to go do this, and I don't enjoy it. But one thing she would always tell me is that, son, you don't even understand when God is trying to bless you. And that's the first thing I thought of when you said we try to see what He's told us to do instead of just going to do it. It really took me doing it to understand that He's blessing me this way. But I would have never saw it if I would have stayed there and argued and went back and forth. And that's the normal habit. That's us being human, is going back and forth with God. But it's great that you've already figured out how to operate in this space, to just believe that it's already done. And all you got to do is take that first step. My next question was, how do you keep yourself from being overwhelmed, or how do you keep yourself from being underwhelmed? Because many a times, and you kind of talked on it before, you say you don't get stressed when God tells you to move the way He tells you to move. But just on a general stance, many a times things can happen, or like for me, certain decisions that I had to make was overwhelming because I didn't know the outcome. I knew what he said, but I didn't know the outcome. But what I had to do is to know my whys. I had to remind myself, this is why you're doing this. This is the reason on why you're doing this. This is what it's going to bring. I had to mentally tell myself my whys. And then I had to just, do the one-step process, or just do this one thing. Okay, then come out like you wanted to, go back and change your formula. Well, you did this and that and the other, and that's why you got that. And so if you go back and change this and change that, then maybe it'll be that. Don't be in a rush to go do what everybody else is doing or what everybody else is telling you to do, no matter how strong the influence is. Do what he is telling you to do. Go ask him. Have you asked him first? This is things my mother would tell me. Son, the only reason why you're smoking and drinking is because you ain't sitting and talking to God. But if you go ask God what to do, I'm pretty sure he'll tell you. So those are the things that I have, that I continue to do to keep myself from being over or underwhelmed. Is to not focus so much on the situation or the challenge, but focus on my whys and mentally instill and remind myself what I'm supposed to be doing and how. But what are some things that you do?
So the best thing that you kind of hit on, that you did hit on, was how. Many people, they want to know, when do I do it and how do I do it? And technically, that's not my place. So that's where he is. He is in the how. And most people, they want to know the how. And most people don't want to let go of that. Some people don't let go of that. Yeah. I don't need to know how to do things
logistically, because that's the human aspect. Yeah, that's the human aspect of us. We try to understand the logistics, and God is always trying to tell us. I feel like that's what he told Job. You trying to figure out why and how I did what I did in your life. But if I take it, and if you read Job, you understand that God took Job on a virtual tour of the universe and said, while you trying to figure this out logistically, I'm still running the whole universe in one hand, and hasn't and won't drop the ball. So I understand that completely, but continue. My bad. I'm sorry.
I know, man, you're good. That's his job, and if you can just get out of your way, again, that's people. That's for people that's compromised the way of the world. Meaning, if you just look in the mirror and get out your own way to understanding why God wants you to do this, it'll be a lot better. You'll be content on letting him handle the how, and you just do, hey, whenever he tells you to do it, you'll do it. The way that I stay balanced is, I know when I ride by where I'm from, and I see these kids being compromised to the ways of the world because of their environment, I know that it's not their fault. It's it's their environment's fault, the way that they think, the way that they act. Because many people, they don't. When you're around what you're around, you learn it unconsciously and consciously.
Yeah, and consciously. Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. You're right. You learn unconsciously, and then consciously you're aware.
Yeah, and many people, they would think that these kids are bad. Or no, if you put them same kids, not even born in the ghetto, you put them in the suburbs, you put them in STEM programs, you put them in user experience programs, computer programs, you put them in football, basketball, they're going to be a product of their environment. So it's mostly taught. Everything is taught. And that's on an unconscious level and a conscious level. Yeah. Like, I didn't know that I was procrastinating when I was in high school. And so I really looked back and I said, is this what God put in me, or is this what someone put in me?
Something I learned.
And when I sat back and I was looking, I was like, oh, okay, God, it hit me. He told me, if you was raised by your parents, this is what the few things that you would be compromised to. Because my mama was a big procrastinator. It is what it is. I know her. And I'm not making her out so bad. Like,
it ain't no shade being
in
thrown or
form of fashion.
anything. Yeah, it's no shade.
It is what it is, and I'm a straightforward person. I would have been a procrastinator. I would have been like, you know what? I can do it tomorrow. I can do it tomorrow. I can do what God told me tomorrow. And I understand that everything that He was putting into me, they would have undone. Everything that God was putting into me, they would have undone. Then in click, I understood why He didn't want me raised by my parents, and he put me with my grandparents, or He put me with the rest of my family members to take a piece of what their best quality was and instill it in me. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people would have had resentment during that childhood. Like, oh, I'm going to this house, I'm going to that house. And I did at first, but I sat back and I understood. I said, wow, okay, you're doing this for a bigger reason. Okay, I'm not understanding now, but I'll understand later. And when later came, I understood it to the T. And so when you say what balances me out, it's knowing that God is operating through me to change the world. Mm-hmm. And that right there is so much more bigger than me. So I don't, what is the word I'm looking for? Anything in regards to me, I can care less about because it's a bigger purpose. And that's how I stay balanced, because if I don't do what He tells me to do, those kids back in those projects, or that's around the world, they're depending on me to do what He told me to do in order to change, inspire, and impact the world. Mm-hmm. They're depending on me to do those things, and those kids are our next generation. And so, that's how I stay balanced. I look at the times, or I look at where those kids are today, and I'll be like, man, I can't wait until we change their lives, which is already done in my eyes.
Yeah, because them seeing something that they're growing up in, being impactful, will plant a seed. Because that's the goal for anybody in a purpose-driven life. It's just to plant a seed that's impactful enough to create something in them to do the same to the next person. So that's good, man, that you say that and you hold on to that. But question just popped up in my head. So do you believe that adversity is essential when you're living a purpose-driven life? What are your takes on that?
You need it because you need that substance. Because when you make it to that next level, and what I realized, when you make it to that next level, you can't bring level 1 problems to level 2, because level 2 has its own problems within itself.
Yeah.
So if you don't have any adversity, anything that'll bring you substance, you can't handle the next level. It'll be too much, and God won't put anything that is too much upon you.
Yeah. Yeah, He wouldn't put you in a space that you couldn't handle with His help. And I think that's what I learned to understand, is that I'm facing and dealing with all these challenges is because I was intended to deal with this. So when I got on the other side and understood what brought me through and what kept me through all that, is what I should ultimately rely on. Because people tell me all the time, oh man, I see where you're at, and you're doing these amazing, impactful things. And I simply reply and tell them, no, it's not me. It's what's in me. Because honestly, if I look and evaluate myself, I ain't did nothing but change my reliance. I rely more on Him than I do on me. That's it. Because I understand the more the challenges come, the less I have inside, the less I can do of my own will to get over the challenges. I'm understanding that it's my reliance on Him that's making these things happen and what's keeping me grounded, because it's not me at all. It's by far not me. Now, a younger me, when I was 16, 17, I'd be like, yeah, it is me. I did that. I'm doing it. But now this me, no, it's not. It's nothing I could do. So I'm in agreement with that. Adversity is important. It's it really is the foundation for purpose.
It's the structure to your life. But a lot of people,
they don't want that.
A lot of people, well, it's not that they don't want that. It's just like, you're compromised to thinking normal, and that goes back to the man-made thinking. That I want people to really understand. You are you because of what you learned, your environment, or the people around you. When you say, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow," is that really you?
Yeah.
Or is that because you've been compromised to the people around you, and that you picked up on it unconsciously, but now you're saying it consciously? You have to monitor your thoughts unconsciously and consciously. What have you learned? What didn't you learn?
Yeah.
What did you learn unconsciously that you didn't even think you was learning? Where did you get the verbiage or the choice of words you say from? Why did you do those actions? Was it because the people around you did those actions, or was it based on a God vision and not a man-made vision?
Man, and so yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Keep going. I'm sorry.
I don't know what you gonna say.
Man, I was just gonna dive in what you said. How you said it earlier. People don't want the pressure, but they want the results of applied pressure. People want the diamond, but they don't want to be in the purest state of carbon dioxide and having that pressure, because you can have the purest form of carbon, CO2, for all these science buffs. You can have carbon dioxide in its purest form because that's the main ingredient. But without that applied pressure, it does not produce diamonds. That pressure is essential. And in our day and time, this MTV generation, we have birthed the microwave mindset. Like you say, that it's easier if I do it this way. I'll get the same results. But you'll get those results from a physical stance, but under the surface, you've actually created more. You created more problems and issues, because all these cancer scares and this is cancerous, that isn't cancerous. It's because you didn't sit back and take the time to properly apply what was needed and waited till it's time to make things happen. That you created all these other illnesses and hindrances, like you said. And that's the way the world is going, is that we're creating more problems than actually solving, because we don't want to sit and wait, because we want to make things happen right now. We don't want the pressure of dealing with being an adult or the pressure of being a college student. We want just to have the degree and the successful children. But all that stuff comes with applied challenges and adversity. My next question is who or what in your circle is what keeps you intact?
A lot of people, because I have a lot of mentors.
Yeah.
I have a lot of good people that feed me wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and it can be from many plethoras of levels.
Yeah.
Like Erica has helped me with my communication, and I'll tell you firsthand, I was a bad communicator.
Yeah.
And the reason being, I didn't grow up. Well, I'm not trying to make it a sob story. It is what it is. I didn't grow up with parents, so I didn't have that. I didn't know how to communicate to someone. And Erica has taught me how to communicate, because what I thought just stopped maybe at a relationship, it goes way past that. It goes to friendships. It goes to being a grandson. It goes to being a big brother. It goes from being an uncle. It goes to all those levels. So what some people think, someone that can't help them with, what someone would think that, it only stops at a relationship standpoint, a girlfriend or boyfriend level. No, your issues they linger on to other subjects and other areas.
Yeah.
So what you think, this communication is only going to stop at a relationship standpoint. No, that communication issue results into business, results into a friendship level.
It touches every area. Me and my wife talked about that last night. That people fail to realize that how they grow up is stemmed from what they grew up around, what they didn't get or what they did get, and that ultimately plays a result in their adulthood in every area. Like you're saying, we're communicating from relationships, it stems over to other aspects. But continue. I'm sorry, man.
No, you're good. And so that goes because consciously, I knew for sure I was bad at communication. I knew I had to get better at it, and I was working towards it. But when I started to think on a deeper level, on an unconscious level, I was like, man, like, you know, I'm thinking on a conscious level, like, you know, it's only hurting a girlfriend. But when I think unconsciously, I'm thinking like, man, it's hurting a lot more people than, you know, what I'm even fathoming. I'm realizing it's hurting my grandparents. It's hurting my mother. It's hurting my cousins. It's hurting my brothers and sisters. And what you're doing by not fixing it, you're training the people that's looking up to you of how to handle things. So if you don't fix those issues, then you pass them down to the next generation. And that's what the problem is, that so many people haven't even fathomed or stumbled upon. Your issues can be passed down generationally. Yeah. And by not looking at your issues and only highlighting your resume, you're passing down things unconsciously that you don't even know that you're doing. Or while you're telling, hey, it'll be okay, you can always do it tomorrow. You're passing this down to your son or your daughter. And they're going to do the same thing that they're taught. And what you think is not a big thing is going to continue to be a big thing within a certain culture, or a black culture, or a white culture, Mexican culture, Latino culture, whatever the culture is. So you really have to govern your thoughts of what you're saying, what you're putting out to the world, and what you're putting out to the world, and how you speaking it into existence. Because by you speaking it, the only way that they know how to react is the same way that you taught them. So they're going to do it unconsciously, knowing that, hey, that may not be the best way to handle that. And they may not even know unconsciously that they're passing that down onto the next generation, because they're going to do as if their mother taught them. You hear a lot of people saying, oh, you know, I learned this from my mother, or I learned this from my father. But does that necessarily be good, or could it get better? Or better yet, do you fix that? Because if you don't, you pass that down to the next generation. Because we learn by watching when we're young, from between 0 to 3 to 4. We learn by watching. Yep. So what you're thinking that's not even affecting them is affecting them.
Mm-hmm. You're right, and that's good that you're saying you realize these things. And I keep saying it, but it's profound at this age that you've realized this, and now it's helped you to be effective. And these are the small lessons that you've learned that's shaped your worldview on how you see and then how you operate. And I echo it all the time, but until I had to learn, and my sister said it, and it rings volumes in my head, and my wife says it. My wife has always said it, but not in that manner. But when I realized she said it, it's shaped so much in my life now, that how you perceive it will ultimately be your reality. And the challenges, the small challenges me and my wife had to go through, she said, you saw this wrong, and this is why you responded the way you responded. And she would always say, and she always says, the challenges, the adversity will never stop coming. That's for sure. But how you receive it, how you perceive it, will ultimately, it'll ultimately shape how you respond to it. So you got to see it the right way. So, like I said, man, it's profound that you've already, in some sense, mastered this understanding that I have to see it properly and I have to self-evaluate, because the self-evaluation ties into creating the discipline, to the responding to adversity, because it's not a point of mastering it or overcoming it in a sense where you overpower it, but it's more of a sense of it doesn't shake you when the testing comes. It's like the parable of the house and the foundation. The storm arrives in both situations, but because one foundation was set on the rock and not built by sand, the storm came and tried it, and it didn't shake it. And that's the mindset of, those are the two mindsets of people. That sand mindset, I'm going to do it right now so I have time to just hang out. It doesn't matter. I got it up quick, fast, in a hurry. And those that say, you know what, I'm going to make sure I have the proper foundation, and then I'm going to take my time. So when the storm comes, it might get scary, but it's not going to shake me to my core. It's not going to get rid of what's keeping me grounded. So that's good, man. And I'm excited to share this with everybody else because it's needed, man. It's needed in this day and time, because that is that's where everybody is kind of at, man. That microwave mindset. Oh, you can do it like this over time, and you can do it like this in a short amount of time. But it takes time. It takes time.
Yeah.
And in that timing, you understand to love the day and out, the ins and out of it, the getting up every morning and making sure you're eating properly and putting in hard work.
Yeah. No, and I totally agree. To intervene for a quick second.
Yeah, you good.
And that's why people, it's so crazy nowadays, because many people, inclusion is like Nas said, inclusion is a drug. Yeah. And everyone just wants to be included. Everyone wants to just be seen. And that's why I'm kind of glad, that God has made me the person I am to, because, unless He calls me to be seen, during certain times, I will go and do that. But I don't need to be compromised, thinking, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. And that makes you rush, and that makes you, forcing things so other people can see you in a certain light, or see you doing this, see you doing that. And I'm grateful that, that I have a clear mindset, because during that 4 years of me saving money to pay off my grandparents' house, saving up $15,000, wasn't nobody calling my phone. I didn't post on Instagram. I didn't post on Facebook. I never did none of those things, so I wasn't seen. And now that today has changed, and my platform is different, He asks and He requires different. Now I have that platform, and I inspire people. I do as He say, and that's where my nonprofit comes in, as in helping the community, going to feed the homeless, whether if I'm in Texas, whether if I'm in Atlanta, whether if I'm in New York, whether if I'm in California, whether I'm in Hawaii, Hong Kong, France. And so most people, again, they don't want to wait on that 4 years of just not being seen. It's not hiding, but having that time to develop and have Him teach you. Most people don't want that. Most people can't wait 2 or 3 weeks, let alone a year, let alone 2 years, 3 years, 4 years of just chilling. In order to, they don't want to wait 4 years in order to change your life. And
because they want to be seen. They want to be seen. They want the accolades of being seen. It's funny you said that.
They want that gratification by man.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's funny you said that. I just looked at a post yesterday, and I was gonna post it this morning on my Instagram. It said, "Not all hustle is hurt. Sometimes it's just you, all alone, grinding, elevating, evolving, while no one hears the sound." And that tells true to your testimony that it was a wait period of just you going to work, preparing yourself to be elevated and evolve to the next state. So now on this tip, when you are being seen or when everybody else sees what you're doing, you're still able to operate because there is positive adversity. And that's a sense of positive adversity. People are praising you for all the good things you've done this far, but it doesn't distract you from what you're doing. You continue as if it was just as if it's just you and God. So yeah,
and to hit on that, many people can do it, but you have to uncompromise yourself from the way of the world and ask yourself, how does God want you to be? And once you ask yourself that question, there is no running from that lie. There is no running from that lie. Once you ask yourself, is this the way God wants me to be, and this is what God wants me to do? That right there, you can't lie to yourself. Because how would it feel? It would just irk me, like I said, if, I get to heaven, and he say, why didn't you do what I told you to do? Yeah. Like, what words will you utter? You can't utter nothing. When he take me to that back room and he
lay out your life,
that's locked, and then he opened the door. He goes to he goes into that room and he pulls out that red box. He's like, this is all the gifts that I have for you, but you chose to do what you've done. You chose to walk your own path. So all these gifts, they stayed in the box.
Yeah,
it would just hurt me because he was willing to give it to me, but some people they don't. Some people they cliche want it. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, they want the benefits.
Want it.
And that's what I said with the microwave mindset. They want the benefit of it being done right now, but they don't want the toll of the process. And in not wanting the process, they create other hindrances. Like, if you just look on the medical sense, warming up a turkey that's supposed to be baked in the oven can create cancer-like problems down the line. And those cancer-like issues can kill the life and destroy something because it wasn't properly done. And it's the same way in people's life. They'll cut out the middleman, quote unquote, the process to get it done faster and create more problems and issues down the line. And then when we get before the Lord and he tells us, this is what I have for you and you don't want it, I don't know what to tell you. I have all these great things for you, but you don't want it because you're looking at, I don't know what you were looking at. I just believe God is an honest and down to earth person. He might just say, I don't know what you were looking at. Like, everything you needed to be impactful in this life or to live the life I have for you was right here. And I don't know. It's right here. Yeah. So.
And again, that just goes back to that goes back to uncompromising yourself. Yeah. To thinking on a man-made level of how people taught you, versus thinking on a God level. And that's why I'm just so happy. He showed me the way early because I'm realizing, like, hey, it may take 4 years to change the world. It may take another 2 years to build the world in Africa that's already there, as he stated to me. But that's going to change the world, and most people, they don't want to
wait.
They don't want to wait, and they don't want to operate because they're too compromised. When you got and this is drugs, liquor, and sex. when you got that much stuff clouding your mind, you don't know how good it feels to have free thinking.
Yeah.
Because when you have free thinking, you don't have no ulterior motive. You don't have to do all this to talk to this girl. Like all those things don't surface when you have free thinking.
Those
can
physical
then understand
pleasures.
what he's trying to show you.
Yeah, those physical pleasures don't keep you, you know what I mean, entangled. Man, and that's crazy you said that. Coworker of mine says, "Oh, you're cocky and arrogant," and I simply said, "No, I'm not. I'm confident because I understand I'm in my purpose, so I'm not entangled by the worries of this space and time because I understand this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm able to move how I'm supposed to move because I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. If I'm doing what he's gifted me to do, he'll provide. He's told me that. Since he said he'll provide, I don't have to sit and worry and create other issues because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And this is the process. And I'm enjoying the ins and outs of the process.
And as if you should. And that mind frame is something that's taught of what he said. You're cocky. Why couldn't his initial response be, you know what? That's good that you're confident in yourself. Be that way.
Yeah, how can I be confident too, like you?
Exactly. Instead of using that mind frame that someone has taught him, which is most likely his friends or his parents or his grandparents.
Or his surrounding. His surrounding. You're right. I'm agreeing with you, man. Keep going.
Yeah. So it's just like he don't even know he has a fault, which he's not even gonna say he has a fault because his pride would kick in at that point. So that makes me know he has another problem. So it's not he has maybe I can't speak for the man. I won't speak for the man. But from the outside in, a man that has that type of mind frame isn't a man that isn't someone that I would want to surround myself with.
Because they're not willing. They're not willing to grow.
He could be a great dude, and that's no shade upon him. But when you're operating on the God level, that wave process, that thought process doesn't even. It can't even creep into your mind because God is blocking that because you're uncompromised the ways of the world, and you have to uncompromise yourself before you get into it.
It'll hinder growth. That mindset of seeing physically and not spiritually will hinder your growth in any realm and time. And you'll always wrestle with, I know I could be further than where I am, but the way I'm perceiving things is hindering me from accepting and growing. So, yeah, man, you're on it. You're on it. That is the pillar to building discipline. And adversity is the mindset, man. The mindset. We're touching up on our mark, and I'm excited. We can wrap up with a few more questions and anything else you have to give us. I don't want to take up all your time. But my first question is 3 things that you would qualify as a good day for you. What are 3 things that you would qualify as a good day for you?
Understanding. When I say that is putting the pieces to the puzzle of your adversity. And I know you said every day, but that's something that I battle upon every day because a little bit by a little bit by a little bit comes every day. And what I mean when I say that is I didn't know when my uncle got killed by a drunk driver because I was young. I didn't understand at that point. But God told me, like, it's okay. You'll understand later. And later, when it came time for me, when I was about, teenage years, when most people started drinking, I was like, nah, I don't want to drink. I'm good.
Because of that incident.
Most people were like, and it was just like, okay, like, what are you trying to show me, God? Like, why did you take his life? he took his life to save my life in order to impact the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he would never took his life, that's all number one that I would ever seen a man. That would have been the climax of a man, because I was looked up to him. He was always around. That would have been the climax of my perception. So I couldn't think on a God level at that point, because that would have been my max. Number two, he would never been able to talk to me because I would have been too compromised by drinking. So he would never been able to talk to me. So in order for me to become the person that I am and become the man that I am today, he had to take him in order to change people's lives through me.
Mm-hmm. That situation, he had to take that situation to sculpt the reality where now you're impactful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's when I realized the first revelation. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It hit me like a train. But that pondering upon it, that asking for it, and it took about 3 to 4 years for it to hit me like a train.
Yeah.
But me continually trying to figure it out, okay, why did that have to happen to him? Because that hurt me so much.
Yeah.
But now that's the best. That's the best thing that has ever happened to me. And most people won't look at pain that way, so they won't try to figure out. They won't try to figure out how to turn that pain into the best thing of their life, because that's all that man has ever taught them. That pain can be discomforting, but you can't turn pain into joy, fulfillment, and understanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, with that, on an everyday level, I ponder upon his understanding, his knowledge, and his wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And a great day for me is getting better, so that way I can help those that may not have the thought process or that want to develop the thought process.
Mm-hmm.
And, just getting better every day. And I've been saying, like, okay, how did you get better every day?
Yeah.
And, sometimes, like you said, it's going to be from sun up to sundown. Sometimes you might just want to sit back and relax from all the hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
Just depends on what mode that he has in. These last 3 months, it was a hustle and bustle. But now he wants me to sit back from all of what I went through to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
To be like, okay, why did he put me through it? So it's just understanding on a day-to-day level, trying to put the pieces to the puzzle, because once he creates the outer web, the foundation, it's mine to build the web and to formulate it so that way I can walk all around the web, and so it can come and make sense. It can make sense as a whole.
You're right. My next question was this: why is being yourself so vital in this day and time for our generation?
Mainly because you can change the world.
Mm-hmm.
You can change the world. I don't smoke. I don't drink. Mm-hmm. I don't do none of those things. And many people, they think that you have to do that to have a good time, or you have to do that to hang around these friends. You don't have to do none of those things to change the world, or to be who you want to be. You don't have to do none of those things. Mm-mm. You don't do none of those things of what people are compromised to. And who's saying that this is the right way to do it?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do none of those things. You can be yourself.
Yeah,
and be happy with yourself.
Yeah, you don't have to subject to the way of your environment to be impactful. And I think,
exactly,
like you said with Nas, that is the drug. We try to include ourselves with everything that's going on, and then if we're included, then we can start to shape the mindset of the people that's included us. But what we failed to understand is that their mindset shapes our mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't never do the latter. We keep going with the flow. And there's no change.
Totally agree.
Yep, there's never no change. So that's crazy, man, that you're saying these things for those who are listening. And I pray that a lot of people are listening, and just taking these things, because it's important, especially now, to be in our purpose. The way the world is going, the way so much stuff is coming into fruition. You know, being in your purpose is the only way you're going to reach somebody and really change some lives. Just being in the purpose He's willed for you. So I feel that 10 deep. My last question, and shoot, we just about hit our time cap, is, I guess, you know, talk about your organizations. If y'all have a website or anything people can follow, I'll put it in our description. You know, just give your dissertation, man. This is your show.
So my name again is Stef on Darts. You can follow me on Facebook. Spell Stefan STEFUN. Last name Darts DARTS. And a lot of my charity work, a lot of people can view or can help or donate to Waveform through there, or you can go to our website caringheartyouth.org. And a lot of what I do is basically what God told me to do. And He told me, hey, to help the homeless out. I help the homeless out. A couple years ago, He told me, hey, help this kid in remission and take him on tours of a shopping spree. You know, something that you wanted to do when you was young, but you know, no one ever gave to you. We did that. We do so much that it's you know, I sometimes forget because I have so much of a tunnel vision that whenever He tells me to do it, I do it, and then the next day I'm literally moving on to the next task at hand. Mm-hmm. But to get back, now we have the Hope of Life water wells, and we'll be building between 5 to 6 wells out in Africa, Nigeria, that is. Mm-hmm. And that's going to impact so many lives. That's something He put on my heart when I was young, to build wells, but I just didn't understand it at that time. And when I said it's going to impact generations, mind you, these people haven't had, you know, some certain areas haven't had clean water, as many people would think. And many people think that they're called wells. They're actually called boreholes. But for the sake of understanding, I call them wells because many people don't know it. It's actually more modern than people may think. But this is going to change generations. And what I mean by health, they actually get to actually start, you know, getting a good manage on their health by drinking this clean water. Yeah. Also, as well, they don't have to walk 3 or 4 hours no more to get clean water. Mm-hmm. So basically, that time right there, they can spend by going to work, or that kid can spend by going to school, which will directly affect him basically being able to go to high school and basically being able to graduate. And so it encompasses so many things by something that we take for granted, that we have access to so easily, that it changes literally generations of how kids are grown up and how their kids grown up and how their kids are grown up. That, you know, that is something that I haven't even fathomed yet. The scale, because again, I'm just doing what He tells me to do, and I don't really like have time to sit in the moment. It's usually like years later, I'll be like, man, that's crazy what God did through me.
Yeah. No, man, that's good, man. That's good. As your brother, man, I want to congratulate you, man. And you know, you always have our support from the Nap Factory. I appreciate you taking out the time to really just sit and let us pick your brain. Continue, guys, to follow up with all the updates. Remember to rate and subscribe. This podcast will be available on every podcast platform. Thank y'all for always listening. Be blessed. One love.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.